Hello and welcome to Martin Lucas Investors channel. My name is Sensei and we are here for the special XRP stream. We're going to give you all the technicals, we're going to cover the news, we're going to cover there is big news coming in a couple hours as well. One of the reasons it's pumping, I'm going to tell you all of that within this video. So thank you everyone for tuning in. If you are here, please do hit the like button. And let's get straight into it. We've got XRP's price going up again. What did we say this morning? I mean, we can't be any more right. I mean, before we get into this, what's important is to say nothing I'm saying in this video is financial advice. This is my thoughts and opinions only. Please do not trade based on what I say. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not here to tell you to buy or sell. I'm here to give you my thoughts, my opinions, what I'm doing, the technical trades, all for entertainment purposes only. So thank you for tuning in. Exactly as predicted. I mean, we can't be any more right. I mean, we're live every single day. I mean, if I was wrong, you could call me out on it. All my videos are here to stay. And just this morning, we said $2.50 breaks, $2.60 can happen today. I mean, back then, no one could believe it. Now everyone says, oh, I thought so too. We broke $2.50. 45 minutes after that prediction, we were up another 7% and we hit our target of $2.60. Why are we selling off? Well, because we hit our target. We've got the same situation going on. We break $2.60, we can go up to $2.70, and then there's less and less resistance. So we're going to get into all the technical levels. But we did hit resistance as expected, exactly as predicted. And even before that, what we were saying was, just to go back in time just slightly, I mean, the last two predictions. One was we're going to break $2, and we're going to buy at $1.70. That occurred perfectly. Then we said if we hold $2, we're heading to $2.30. That happened exactly. $2.30 was resistance. We said there's this down sloping resistance. As soon as that breaks, get ready for $2.30 to break. That happened exactly. We break $2.30. Be prepared for $2.50. That happened exactly. Be prepared for that sell-off. That sell-off happened exactly as predicted. We broke $2.50. Be prepared for $2.60. That happened exactly as predicted. So what am I going to predict next? Again, I can't be right every time, but people watching the channel know what the predictions have been. What I'm saying next is as soon as we break $2.62 again, we are heading to $2.70. That can happen today as well. That can happen any second now. Another 5% moves to the upside. And then it gets exciting because then we start looking at targets we haven't seen in a while. $2.70 breaks. There isn't much ahead. There is not. Oh, we've got Martyn calling in. Let's let Martyn back on to the show. I'm going to put him in guest one. And Martyn, you're live on the show.
Sensei, good morning to you. Switch over to Bloomberg News. You've got Donald Trump now giving you the China deal. Come back to XRP, but if you've got Bloomberg Television, you've got it.
I think very
Sensei,
hard.
I'll hand it
One
back to
thing when
you.
they work on something,
Thank
they
you.
get it done. So now I'm about to depart on a historic visit. Some of you are going with us to, as I said, Saudi Arabia, Qatar,
upon me,
and
Sensei.
United Arab Emirates. Before I do, I'll sign one of the most consequential executive orders in our country's history. I don't think there's ever been anything signed like this, certainly not with respect to health care, nothing even close. I'm delighted to be joined on this occasion by Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy, Jr., who is doing a really good job, I have to tell you that. CMS Administrator, a friend of mine, Dr. Mehmet Oz.
We are watching the Trump-China deal happen live. We will get back to XRP's price, but this will have an effect. This is one of the reasons the markets are heating up.
It hurt his reputation, because when you're in show business, it hurts your reputation a little bit. It's good for you. It's good for you, but in terms of professionalism and being a doctor, it sort of hurts your reputation. This guy went to the best schools, was the best, I mean, top of the line. Then he did a television show, became a success, made a lot of money, all that stuff, but it sort of hurt him. And you know who I compare that to? I hate to say this, but a special woman, Jeanine Pirro. She was the toughest, smartest DA, maybe in our countries, in our cities and states history, New York. She was really tough, really sharp. Then she did a show, and people didn't think of her quite the same way. She became more of an entertainment person, like Oz. Oz is not an entertainer. He's not really an entertainer, if you know the real story. And she isn't either. She is unbelievable. She was one of the strongest district attorneys in the history of New York. highly respected, very tough, went after the drug dealers at a level that you don't see today anymore. And hopefully she's given up a tremendous, she's leaving the #1 show on cable television, one of the #1 shows on television, period. The 5, but they've got great people left behind, but she was a big part of it. And so I equated to that. Jeanine Pirro is unbelievable. FDA Commissioner Dr. Marty McCary, with a reputation that's second to none, and the job he's doing already has been fantastic. Thank you, Marty. And Director of National Institute of Health, Jay Bhattacharya, who has been, as you know, from Stanford, so highly regarded, and have all been working with us very hard on this. And the question they would ask, being a little bit new to the government aspect of it, is why doesn't somebody fight the drug price situation, meaning equalization? There's a term, it's called equalization. Nobody wants to mention that term. And I'm not knocking the drug companies. I'm really more knocking the countries than the drug companies, because
XRP going again.
They're forced to do things. But the drug lobby is the strongest lobby in this country, they say, the drug lobby. It's between that and lawyers. And they have a lot of power. But starting today, the United States will no longer subsidize the health care of foreign countries, which is what we were doing. We're subsidizing others' health care. Countries where they paid a small fraction of what, for the same drug, that what we pay many, many times more for. And will no longer tolerate profiteering and price gouging from Big Pharma. But again, it was really the countries that forced Big Pharma to do things that, frankly, I'm not sure they really felt comfortable doing. But they've gotten away with it, these countries. European Union has been brutal. And the drug companies actually told me stories. It was just brutal how they forced them. And European Union suing all our companies, Apple, Google, Meta. They're suing all of our companies. They end up, they have judges that are European Union-centric, and they get rewarded $15 billion, $17 billion, $20 billion.
XRP merch
and they use that
now
to run their operation. Not going to happen any longer, that I can tell you. So what's been happening is we've been subsidizing other countries throughout the world.
Have we hit 80,000?
The world. European Union was the most difficult, from what I understand. I mean, I'll tell you a story. A friend of mine who's a businessman, very, very, very top guy. Most of you would have heard of him. A highly neurotic, brilliant businessman, seriously overweight, and he takes the fat shot drug. And he called me up, and he said, President, he calls me, he used to call me Donald, now he calls me President, so that's nice respect. But he's a rough guy, smart, successful, very rich. I wouldn't even know how we would know this, but because he's got comments. President, could I ask you a question? What? I'm in London, and I just paid for this damn fat drug I take. I said, it's not working. He said, I just paid $88. And in New York, I pay $1,300. What the hell is going on? He said, so I checked, and it's the same box, made in the same plant, by the same company. It's the identical pill that I buy in New York. And here I'm paying $88 in London. In New York, I'm paying $1,300. Now, this is a great businessman, but he's not familiar with this crazy situation that we have. But he was stunned. But it was just one of those stories. And I brought it up with the drug companies, represented by somebody who's very, very smart, good person, too. And we argued about it for about half hour. And then finally he just said, because they can't justify it, he just said, look, you got me. You got me. I can no longer they've been justifying this crap for years. They said, oh, it's research and development. Well, I said, well, research and development, other countries should pay research and development, too. It's for their benefit. It was just one of those things. And the other countries would set a price, and they'd meet the price, and they'd say, if you don't meet the price, you can't sell it in our country. I said, well, then you walk away, and, they'll call you back, and they'll sell it in the country. But now they'll have to do that. So for the first time in many years, we'll slash the cost of prescription drugs, and we will bring fairness to America. Drug prices will come down by much more, really, if you think 59. If you think of a drug that is sometimes 10 times more expensive, it's much more than the 59%. You know, it depends on the way you want to analyze it. But in
We will get on to the news on XRP. This is important for now. Please do hit the like button.
So when I worked so hard in the first term, and if I got prices down, remember I was the only one to ever get prices down for a full year, but I'd get them down like 2%, and I thought it was like a big deal. Well, we're getting them down 60, 70, 80, 90%, but actually more than that if you think about it in the way mathematically. And Farmer has to say, we're sorry, but we'll not be able to do this any longer to these countries that have been so tough. They've been very tough, nasty. It's trade. It's trade. And Farmer is also very powerful. And the Democrats have protected Farmer. The Democrats, this is the Democrats have protected Farmer. These are the Democrats. And by the way, I just called the Speaker of the House, and I just called the leader, our leader in the Senate, John Thune, Mike Johnson. Spoke to both of them. I said, when you score, you're going to have to score two things. You're going to have to, number one, score that hundreds of billions of dollars of tariff money is coming in. But even bigger than that, you're going to have to score that your cost for Medicaid and Medicare and just basically pharmaceuticals and drugs is going down at a level that nobody has ever seen before. It'll pay for the Golden Dome. I see the Golden Dome is there, see? That'll easily pay for the Golden Dome. And we'll have a lot of money left over. We need the Golden Dome, by the way, in this world. Although this world's a lot safer today than it was a week ago, and a lot safer than it was 6 months ago. We had people that had no clue what they were doing. So today, Americans spend 70% more for prescription drugs than we spent in the year 2000. Think of that. Our country has the highest drug prices anywhere in the world by sometimes a factor of 5, 6, 7, 8 times. It's not like they're slightly higher. They're 6, 7, 8 times. There are even cases of 10 times higher. So that you go 10 times more expensive for the same drug, that's big numbers. Even though the United States is home to only 4% of the world's population, pharmaceutical companies make more than 2/3 of their profits in America. So think of that. With 4% of the population, the pharmaceutical companies make most of their money, most of their profits from America. That's not a good thing. Now, I think, by the way, I have great respect for these companies and for the people that run them. I really do. And I think they did one of the greatest jobs in history for their company, convincing people for many years that this was a fair system. And nobody really understood why, but I figured it out. For years, pharmaceutical and drug companies have said that research and development costs were what they are, and for no reason whatsoever. They had to be borne by America alone.
We are going to do a full analysis on XRP's price. We got the SEC roundtable, the full news coming straight after.
In Germany, in all parts of the European Union, they were the toughest of all. They were nasty. And I see that. I see that with trade, too. European Union is in many ways nastier than China. Okay? And
Martyn, you're live.
we've just started with them. Oh,
Thank
they'll come
you,
down a lot. You watch.
Sensei. We are doing an XRP special here, and we really need to bring this news. I want everyone to tap the like button. We should be on 500 likes right now. Share this news out. Huge technical analysis coming from Sensei in a moment. Tap, like, share, drop into the chat. Is my X and Instagram. Become a member if you'd like to as well. We've got the XRP mugs today, a couple out.
We have just lost Martyn for a
Ripple
second.
license product. Very exciting. And stick with us. Sensei, we'll be back with you in a few moments' time with the technicals on XRP. And right after this, I've got more breaking news on Arch Aviation. And now back to the president. Thank you.
I don't believe they should be affected very much because It's just a redistribution of wealth. It's a redistribution where it could be the same top line, but it's going to be distributed differently. Europe's going to have to pay a little bit more. The rest of the world's going to have to pay a little bit more, and America's going to pay a lot less. Again, because it's a much smaller population than when you think of the whole world. So basically what we're doing is equalizing. There's a new word that I came up with, which I think is probably the best word. We're going to equalize, where we're all going to pay the same. We're going to pay what Europe's going to pay. We're going to all pay. Now, there may be some countries in dire need, and I would be willing to sacrifice that and help them. But it's called most favored nation. We are going to pay the lowest price there is in the world. We will get whoever is paying the lowest price, that's the price that we're going to get. So remember that. So we're no longer paying 10 times more than another country. Whoever is paying the lowest price, we will look at that price and we will say that's the price we're going to pay. Most favored nations. That's what it is. One breast cancer drug costs Americans over $16,000 per bottle, but the same drug from the same factory, manufactured by the same company, is 1/6 that price in Australia. Wow. And 1/10 that price in Sweden. 1/10 wow. For the identical product.
This is big news for everyone.
It's almost $500 here in America, but costs less than $40 in the United Kingdom. So $40 in the United Kingdom, which is where this gentleman told me he paid a small amount for his shot. But think of that. So $40 versus $500 here. That's not even bad. There are much worse examples. And the weight loss drug, Ozempic, costs 10 times more in the United States than in the rest of the developed world. 10 times more. Why? Why? What did we do? Suckers. But we never had a president that had the courage to do this. And nobody knew the system like I do. I mean, I've gotten to know this system so well. And I don't think it's fair that it benefits Obamacare. Obamacare is a failure. It's not a good health care. It works. I made it work. I had an obligation to make it work, or an obligation to let it die. I chose that we had to make it work. I had to make it as good as possible. And I had a choice. I could have let it fail or make it as good as possible. As good as possible means it was still not very good, but it survived. And we did the right thing. But this makes everything work. And I don't want to have a bad form of healthcare work.
Please do hit the like button. Let's get to 500 likes. Let's get everyone ready for the pump event. We've got all the news coming, SEC roundtable, Trump deal, big news right now that's going to help every American.
Which, if you guys would work on that, along with Congress. But I do want to say that Democrats could have done this a long time ago. They have fought like hell for the drug companies, and they knew they were doing the wrong thing. And it's going to be very hard. I was just telling the leader and the speaker that it's going to be very hard for the Democrats to vote against the one big, beautiful deal. The greatest tax cuts in history, greatest everything, but now you have the big drug prices because that's going to be included. It makes that whole situation different from a scoring standpoint. I just told them, I called them up about this. I said, I'm going to do something that's going to be very monumental, and you're going to be scoring. You better tell your people that this is going to score really well, and then add hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs to your list also. But as big as the tariffs are, this is something that really hits quickly. 5 years ago, I signed an executive order to confront this disaster, but only confront it in a minor way. It was a good confrontation, but never to this extent. And it took people a little while to understand a very complicated system. But Joe Biden, without any knowledge of what he was doing, terminated the policy and then pretended to negotiate under a new system. And then you take a look, 5 out of the 10 drugs that he negotiated are now over 200% more expensive in America than the rest of the world, and far more expensive than when he even got involved. Much more expensive than when he got involved. Joe Biden's plan was as you know, because you wrote about it, you don't say it very loudly, but it was a very big failure, was his whole presidency. First, I'm directing the U.S. Trade Representatives and Department of Commerce to begin investigations into foreign nations that extort drug companies by blocking their products unless they accept bottom line and very low dollar amounts for their product, unfairly shifting the cost burden onto American patients. And we'll be taking a look at that very strongly. The biggest thing we're going to do is we're going to tell those countries, like those represented by the European Union, that, that game is up. Sorry. And if they want to get cute, then they don't have to sell cars into the United States anymore. It's a very big subject. And they won't get cute, because I'll defend the drug companies from that standpoint. They were given a price by the European Unions and other countries. This is what you do. This is what we're going to pay. We're not going to pay any more. Let America pay the difference, because there was a...
Do stay with us. This is breaking news at the moment. We're covering it. We will come on to the SEC roundtable news. We'll come on to the technical analysis for XRP, but this is something that's going to pump the markets, and we're covering it live.
The principle is simple. Whatever the lowest price paid for a drug in other developed countries, that is the price that Americans will pay. And we're using the term other developed countries because there are some countries that need some additional help, and that's fine. I think that's very good. Some prescription drug and pharmaceutical prices will be reduced almost immediately by 50 to 80 to 90%. Big Pharma will either abide by this principle voluntarily or will use the power of the federal government to ensure that we are paying the same price as other countries. To accelerate these price restrictions and reductions, my administration will also cut out the middlemen. We're going to totally cut out the famous middlemen. Nobody knows who they are, middlemen. I've been hearing the term for 25 years, middlemen. I don't know who they are, but they're rich. That I can tell you. We're going to cut out the middlemen and facilitate the direct sale of drugs at the most favored nation price directly to the American citizen. So we're cutting out, Bobby, the middlemen. It's so important, right? You got to do that. They're worse than the drug companies. They don't even make a product, and they make a fortune. It's very smart business people, that I can tell you. If companies make no significant progress toward most favored nation pricing, which we will insist that they do, so I think I'm wasting time talking about it. We're going to insist upon it. And we'll insist, and we're going to help the drug companies with the other nations, because those other nations do a lot of trading with us. They need our trade, just like China needed us very badly. They need us just as badly. We will do whatever we have to with trade, just like we did some great things with trade with India and Pakistan. It really helped the situation, very heated situation. Could have lost millions of people, more than millions. I mean, many millions of people. And they want to do business with America, but we never used our powers that way. We never knew how. We never had people that knew how to do that. We'll also open up America's market to safe and legal imports of affordable drugs from other countries, putting dramatic downward pressure on prices. And if necessary, we'll investigate the drug companies, and we'll, in particular, investigate the countries that are doing this, and we will add it onto the price that we charge them for doing business in America. In other words, we'll add it onto tariffs if they don't do what is right, which is everybody should equalize. Everybody should pay the same price. And special interests may not like this very much, but the American people will. I am doing this for the American people. I'm doing this against the most powerful lobby in the world, probably the drug lobby, drug and pharmaceutical lobby. But it's one of the most important orders, I think, that's ever been signed, certainly with regard to health care or health in the history of our country, and it's an honor to be a part of it. And I'd like to ask Robert F. Kennedy to say a few words, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is an extraordinary day. This is an issue that, I grew up in the Democratic Party, and every major Democratic leader for 20 years has been making this promise to the American people. This was the fulcrum of Bernie Sanders' runs for presidency, that he was going to eliminate this discrepancy between Europe and the United States. But as it turns out, none of them were doing it. It's one of these promises that politicians make to their constituents. knowing that they'll never have to do it. And the reason they'll never have to do it is because they know that Congress is controlled in so many ways by the pharmaceutical industry. There's at least one pharmaceutical lobbyist for every congressman, every senator in Capitol Hill, and every member of the Supreme Court. By some estimates, 3. Pharmaceutical companies, the industry itself spends 3 times what the next largest lobbyist spends on lobbying. So this was an issue that people talked about, but nobody wanted to do anything because it was radioactive. They knew you couldn't get it by Congress. We now have a president who is a man of his word, who has the courage. President Trump was taking money from the pharmaceutical industry too. I think they gave you $100 million. But he can't be bought, unlike most of the politicians in this country. And he is standing here for the American people. I don't know what, there's writers like Lord Elizabeth.
Stay with us. We're going to be doing the XRP analysis. We might even do an XRP mug giveaway. If you want that, let me know in the chat.
Than President Donald Trump. And I'm very, very proud of you, Mr. President, for your courage, I'll say, because I don't want to be crude, your intestinal fortitude, your stiff spine, and your willingness to stand up for the American people. We have 4.2% of the world's population. Our country represents 75% of the revenues for pharmaceutical companies. We spend in our country $1,126 per capita on drugs. In Britain, they spend about $240. They spend 1/5 of what we do. And this is true across Europe. And the drug companies, Europeans, if you ask them, it made no sense what they were saying. America has to pay for this innovation or it's not going to happen. What President Trump is saying to our European partners is you've got to raise the amount that you're paying for those drugs and pay for your share of the innovation. That the United States is no longer subsidizing that. If the Europeans raise the price of their drugs by just 20%, that is $10 trillion that can be spent on innovation, and the health of all people all across the globe is going to increase because we're going to have better products. So I'm just so grateful to be here today. I never thought that this would happen in my lifetime. I have a couple of kids who are Democrats, are big Bernie Sanders fans. And when I told them that this was going to happen, they had tears in their eyes because they thought this is never going to happen in our lifetime. And we finally have a president who's willing to stand up for the American people. Thank you. And Dr. Oz.
Thank you, Secretary Kennedy. This is the most powerful executive order on pharmacy pricing and healthcare ever in the history of our nation. And it's only happening because we have a president with the fortitude, the guts to stand up to the withering criticism and lobbying that's going to occur as soon as folks hear about the executive order. So on behalf of the child in Philadelphia who's got an autoimmune disease with a $1,000 a month drug, or the older woman in Los Angeles who's on a blood thinner who can't afford her copay, I want to thank President Trump. God bless you for having the guts to take on this industry. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
So let's talk about the details a little bit. And this is primarily about equalization, as President Trump said. It's about fairness. Think of NATO as a metaphor. When President Trump said, you've got to pay a little more, so it makes sense for all of us, they came up. And the European countries contributed. The same thing we believe will happen in this situation. Most people who have thought about this process agree that it is patently unfair to tolerate the numbers
XRP
that
selling
Secretary
off
Kennedy
just
and President
as
Trump have
predicted.
reflected to you.
We can come
On this
all
chart
the way back down to
my
$2.50.
left is a list of the 10 drugs that were negotiated in the IRA. Again, this is the bill, the law, that regulates a negotiation process. This is the best price that was able to be obtained by the Biden administration. And if you look at these numbers, they actually reflect how much on top of the most favored nation price was being paid by the United States. So the closest to me, Bob, you can point to the Jardians, the closest one, 289%, the one that's closest to you. That means that we are paying in America 4 times more than that drug costs in other countries. Again, 100% is the baseline. It's 289% above that baseline. It goes all the way down to when we're paying 50% more than any other country. That's the range. As was pointed out by President Trump, half the time we're paying 3 times more than is paid in other countries. It doesn't make any sense for the system. That stated, President Trump has over and over again indicated, and Secretary Kennedy reflected as well, we want innovation. We want our technology partners doing the best they can to make the best solutions for drugs to cure as many people in America and around the world as possible. By getting our allies to pay
markets are coming down. We will look into it. Nothing until $2.50 on XRP. We will look at the broader markets. Everything selling off just like predicted. We will get onto that, the SEC roundtable, straight after this breaking news.
We'll still be curing cancer and a slew of other ailments that plague humanity. America will still be the leader in this space, but we'll be paying the appropriate amount, the right-sized amount for those tasks. So over the next 30 days, the 4 of us up here, together with people standing in the back of this room who are doing a lot of the heavy lifting, are going to be approaching pharmaceutical companies to talk specifically about what we want the most favored nation price to be based on the best data we have. We're looking forward to a thoughtful interaction with these corporate leaders, many of whom we've spoken to and in quiet will agree the system is not right the way it is. They're patriotic Americans. They want what's right. But the fact that in my lifetime, as Secretary Kennedy said, for the first time, we have a thoughtful and aggressive approach, thanks to President Trump, on taking on the special interests, should give all Americans confidence that this is an administration that stands for fairness, and it should chill the waters for those who believe they can push us away from our North Star, which is to take care of the American people. Mr. President, God bless you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Jay, you want to go next?
Sure.
Yep.
So I teach economics at Stanford as well as health policy. And one thing that's really, really simple in economics is that when you have a persistent price difference for the same product between 2 countries, there is something deeply wrong. And what President Trump has done is a historic measure that should have been done a long time ago. What we're going to do is make sure that those prices become much closer to equal, like a competitive market you'd expect. Right now what's happening is the American people are subsidizing in large fraction the research and development efforts for drug companies around the world by the higher prices that we pay. With this new order, Europe will share the burden of that. And in fact, if you may think of it as like as somehow it's like it's going after drug companies, actually it's helping drug companies. Because what we're also going to do with this order, what President Trump has done with this order, is he's said to European governments, look, if you are taking advantage of the drug companies by forcing them to charge very, very low prices, we're going to defend American drug companies in Europe. At the same time,
please vote on the poll. Do you want a free mug giveaway straight after this? We can do a giveaway for 8% today. We've got news on the SEC roundtable. We've got markets correcting right now. We'll get onto all of that in just a moment. Please hit the like button if you've just tuned in.
Moment. And I'm really, really proud, President Trump, that you've done this. I'm really proud to be included in this and looking forward to the work ahead.
Thank you, Jay. Great.
Thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of the many doctors I've talked to about this very issue, thank you for taking the bull by the horns. Presidents on both sides of the aisle have talked about this and floated it and said they've wanted to do it, so you've had the courage to do it. Thank you. I've been a surgical oncologist at Johns Hopkins for 22 years, and I have seen patients suffer. We didn't take an oath to heal patients and then watch their life get ruined financially, with their home, mortgage, retirement, going down the drain with GoFundMe campaigns, raising money from church communities and synagogues and friends they haven't seen in 20 years to try to raise money for what? For a system where Americans have been getting ripped off by 10, 12, 15 times higher prices than we see in other countries. The fundamental problem in healthcare is that we've had non-competitive markets. We can do little things around the edges, or we can transform those markets to competitive markets, and that's what this executive order does today. Imagine buying a Ford for $175,000, a regular car, and then hearing that people in London are buying it for $10,000 every day, all day long. That is the craziness of this system. We're going to do everything we can at the FDA to support this executive order. It's transformative. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So thank you very much, everybody. I think it's a very important day. In many ways, you have, we'll start with the Houthis. We go to Pakistan and India. We go to what we did with China, the trade deal, and with UK. And by the way, many other deals are coming in very much. At a certain point, we'll just set the price because we know where we are. But we'll just set the price. But world trade is going to be terrific, and our country is going to be making a lot of money. Taxes are going to go down. Taxes are going to go down very, very substantially. But you look at all of the things that we've done, and now today I'm heading over. We'll see what we're going to do with respect to Iran. I think you have very good things happening there, too, by the way. I think can't have a nuclear weapon, but I think that they are talking intelligently. We're in the midst of talking to them, and they're right now acting very intelligent. We want Iran to be wealthy and wonderful and happy and great, but they can't have a nuclear weapon. It's very simple. And so I think they understand that I mean business, and I think they're being very reasonable thus far. And don't underestimate Thursday in Turkey. President Erdogan is going to be a great host, and we are doing some work with him having to do with Syria, too, by the way. We're going to have to make a decision on the sanctions, which we may very well relieve. We may take them off of Syria because we want to give them a fresh start. But President Erdogan's asked me about that. Many people have asked me about that because the way we have them sanctioned, it doesn't really give them much of a start. So we want to see if we can help them out. So we'll make that determination. But I think you're going to have maybe a good meeting. You have the potential for a good meeting, that a meeting wasn't going to take place. I insisted that that meeting take place. And it is taking place. And I think you may have a good result out of the Thursday meeting in Turkey between Russia and Ukraine. And I believe the two leaders were going to be there. I was thinking about flying over. I don't know where I'm going to be on Thursday. I've got so many meetings. But I was thinking about actually flying over there. There's a possibility of it, I guess, if I think things can happen. But we got to get it done. We got to save 5,000 lives a week. 5,000 lives is really more than that. It's worse than that. And when you see and you don't want to see it, but when you see the satellite photographs of the battlefield with arms and legs and heads all over the place, separated by 30 yards from bodies, doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. So we're working very hard to see if we can end that bloodbath. Okay, there shouldn't be too many questions. It's been covered pretty well.
Mr. President, thank you for taking questions. Two quick ones for you, starting on trade. If a longer-term deal is not reached with China at the end of these 90 days, can the American people expect those tariffs to go back up to 145%? No,
but they would go up substantially higher. You know, at 145, you're really decoupling because nobody's going to buy. But they can go, they got very high because of additional tariffs I applied during the course because of fentanyl and other things. But no, but they'd go substantially higher.
And then on Qatar, Mr. President,
I think you will have a deal, however.
Okay, you're confident that there will be a deal. On Qatar, has Qatar asked for anything in exchange for that $400 million luxury jumbo jet? And how can the American people be so sure that they will not in the future?
Well, I think what happens with the plane is that, we're very disappointed that it's taking Boeing so long to build a new Air Force One. We have an Air Force One that's 40 years old. And if you take a look at that compared to the new plane of the equivalent, stature at the time, it's not even the same ballgame. You look at some of the Arab countries and the planes they have parked alongside of the United States of America plane, it's like from a different planet. And it's close to 40 years old, might be more than 40 years old now. And we, when I first came in, I signed an order to get it built. I took it over from the Obama administration. They had originally agreed. I got the price down much lower. And then when the election didn't exactly work out the way that it should have, a lot of work was not done on the plane because A lot of people didn't know. They made change orders that were so stupid, so ridiculous. And it ended up being a total mess, a real mess. And when I came back, I said, by the way, what's going on with the Boeings that are coming in? Well, sir, they're way behind. And they are. They're way behind. They were way behind. Another mess that I inherited from Biden. And it's going to be a while before we get them. And I think Qatar, who has really, we've helped them a lot over the years in terms of security and safety. I think they end very, very nicely, and I have a lot of respect for the leadership and for the leader, Qatar. And I think they knew about it because they buy Boeings. They buy a lot of Boeings, and they knew about it. And they said we would like to do something, and if we can get a 747 as a contribution to our Defense Department, to use during a couple of years while they're building the other ones. I think that was a very nice gesture. Now, I could be a stupid person and say, oh, no, we don't want a free plane. We give free things out. We'll take one, too. And it helps us out because, again, we're talking about we have 40-year-old aircraft. The money we spend, the maintenance we spend on those planes to keep them tippy-top is astronomical. You wouldn't even believe it. So I think it's a great gesture from Qatar. I appreciate it very much. I would never be one to turn down that kind of an offer. I mean, I could be a stupid person and say, no, we don't want a free, very expensive airplane. But I thought it was a great gesture. And I think it was a gesture because of the fact that we have helped and continue to, we will continue to, all of those countries, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, and others, we keep them safe. If it wasn't for us, they probably wouldn't exist right now. And I think this was just a gesture of good faith. And I don't get it. Someday it'll be like Ronald Reagan. They decommission them. You know, they get to a certain age, they decommission them. It'll go to my library. They're talking about going to my library in years out. But I thought it was a great gesture. And it's something that was done by Ronald Reagan. They actually decommissioned the plane, and he put it in his library. And it actually has made...
We are waiting to see if there's any news on the China deal, any extra information there. Donald Trump traveling to the Middle East. Let's listen to the next question.
I don't know. It would go directly to the library after I leave office. I wouldn't be using it, no.
Mr. President, on the hostage, you said that the release of the American hostage, Eden Alexander, is a step in good faith to end this war. Do you expect any progress and perhaps announcement on ceasefire during your trip to the Middle East?
We hope that we're going to have other hostages released too, as you know. So when I met with the hostages 3 weeks ago that were there for quite a while, you remember the 10 people that came in, mostly young people, 1 or 2 were a little bit old.
XRP coming up next. It is being volatile, ready to break out, ready to retest. We'll get onto that very shortly.
And I said, how many are there? They said 59. I said, that's a lot. I didn't realize, because we got a lot out. You know, we got a lot of hostages out, I think you will acknowledge. They said 59, but then they said, they followed that up by saying 59, of which 24 are living, the rest are dead. But the people whose son, mostly son, I think 1 daughter in this case, but mostly sons are there, or husbands are there. Those people want the dead bodies as much as they want the live body. I have a mother that calls me, but came up to me when I first met her, and she said, sir, please get my son out. He's dead, but they have his body. And I asked her about that, and it's as though he were alive. The level of wanting that body back is the same. It couldn't be any more, as though he were alive. So, you know, getting the bodies back is very important. That could be a thing having to do with the religion. It could be same. I was amazed at the level of importance. It's the same as if the son or husband or whatever was alive. So they said 59. In fact, they came in with a number 59 written out on like a sign on their chest. But they came to thank me for getting them out. And I said, what does the 59 mean? They said, well, that means there are 59 people. But then they said, but 24 are living. Now it's 21. The number's 21. So now it's actually, we'll get Etan today. We think we're getting him today. So it's 20. So they have 20 live hostages there. The rest are dead bodies.
Mr. President, are you open open to negotiating your tariffs on cars, steel, and aluminum with China or any other country?
Well, we're not even talking about that. We're bringing the car business back into this country. We have commitments, and not only commitments, they've already started construction on many plants. They've left Mexico in a few cases. In a few cases, they've left Canada. They're not going to build in Canada. They're going to build here because we have the market, and the tariffs have been amazing. The election and the tariffs. November 5th was a big day, and on top of that, of course, you wouldn't have the tariffs without the election, I guess, if you look at it. But we have at least 11 committed massive car factories that are going to be built, that are in the process of being built. And some are going through, some have actually started. We also have renovations of existing factories where they weren't utilizing the full factory from years gone by, and now they're under full renovation. They'll be opening up full factories in a very short period of time. Our car industry is, I think we're going to have the #1 industry. You know, if you look at Japan and these others, they do tremendously with cars, and they can do that too. But you know, if they want to sell cars in the United States, they're going to have to build factories in the United States, because I'm interested in cars for the United States. Now, one other thing is, in our tax bill, we're giving not only no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime, but also we're going to get a deduction for people that borrow money to buy a car if it's made in America. If it's not, we have no interest.
A meeting between President Putin as well as President Zelensky. If President Putin doesn't show up to these talks in person in Turkey, will you join Europe in putting higher sanctions on Russia?
If I felt it would be important toward getting the deal done, I'm the one that insisted on the meeting. They couldn't get a meeting because one said ceasefire, one said no ceasefire. It was going back and forth. I said, look, at this point, we got to stop it. Just go to the meeting. The meeting's been set. Go to the meeting on Thursday. And if I thought it would be helpful, I don't know where I'm going to be at that particular point. I'll be someplace in the Middle East, but I would fly there if I thought it would be helpful. Yeah, please.
Back to refugees. I want to ask you about South African refugees. Dozens of Afrikaners who claim discrimination in their home country are heading to the United States, right, where your administration is going to welcome them as refugees. Now, this comes as you've halted virtually all refugee admissions for people fleeing famine and war from countries like Sudan and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Why are you creating an expedited path into the country for Afrikaners but not others?
Because they're being killed, and we don't want to see people be killed. Now, South Africa leadership is coming to see me, I understand, sometime next week. And, you know, we're supposed to have I guess a G20 meeting there or something, but we're having a G20 meeting. I don't know how we can go unless that situation's taken care of, but it's a genocide that's taking place that you people don't want to write about, but it's a terrible thing that's taking place, and farmers are being killed. They happen to be white, but whether they're white or black makes no difference to me, but white farmers are being brutally killed, and their land is being confiscated in South Africa, and the newspapers and the media, television media doesn't even talk about it. If it were the other way around, they'd talk about it. That would be the only story they'd talk about. And I don't care who they are. I don't care about their race, their color. I don't care about their height, their weight. I don't care about anything. I just know that what's happening is terrible. I have people that live in South Africa. They say it's a terrible situation taking place. So we've essentially extended citizenship to those people to escape from that violence and come here. Yeah.
Please.
Mr. President, thank you. Are you letting China off the hook for these 90 days, and do you really believe that they will follow through with non-tariff barriers and remove those?
Non-monetary tariffs, yeah. Yeah, I think they're going to follow through. I think they want it very badly. I think they want the deal very badly. Again, this doesn't include the steel tariffs that I put on a long time ago that Biden tried to get off, but he couldn't get them off because it was too much money. You know, I took in hundreds of billions of dollars from China, what a lot of people don't know, but we put on the tariffs originally. And if I didn't do that, we wouldn't have a steel industry today. Now we have a thriving steel industry. It'll be thriving much more with what we're doing because this is the next level. But it doesn't include that, doesn't include cars, doesn't include pharmaceuticals when we do.
We have a mug giveaway coming at 500 likes, so do get the liking and we'll get into the technical analysis for XRP and the SEC roundtable news.
Lilly, which is making a massive investment in the United States right now. They're building many, many plants. They've already started like 7 of them, many plants, but they are not going to be tariffed. There's no tariff cost. So they're all doing that. They're all coming back to the United States. I mean, I'll tell you what, I hope I get the benefit of watching this because, as president, because, you know, it takes a little while to do this stuff. And we're doing it early in the administration. If you think of it, we have, I believe, if you look at the real total, it's over $10 trillion committed for plants and factories. Other administrations haven't had $1 trillion over a 4-year period, even over an 8-year period. We have over $10 trillion committed in one form or the other over 2 months. Give me a break. I'm here to hear 3, but let's give me a break on the first month. We want to get acclimated. But, you know, but if you think about it, it's really 2 months. And so in 2 months, we have an investment already of over $10 trillion. And other presidents haven't had that done over a year, over 4 years in some cases. It's unprecedented. There's never been anything like it. It's a very exciting time in America. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
All right, that was President Trump in the White House, making some comments about a wide range of issues, particularly centered on healthcare
donated
and
$2
the
to a
news
super chat.
that the Trump administration aims to cut U.S. drug prices pretty dramatically across.
Okay, so stick with us now. We are going to move over.
Wonder why drugs are so expensive. I'm not sure I understand why they are.
To the big news. We're just seeing whether or not he's going to sign this deal. Thank you all for tuning in. Please do hit that like button. We're going to have an XRP mug giveaway as soon as we hit 500 likes. We are on 325. Whoever hasn't liked the stream yet, a lot of you right now, please do hit the like button. We're just going back to Trump.
Medicaid costs are going down. Give you the drug, and they're willing to do that.
Sorry about that.
So that's it. They have to. We have to equalize.
Mr. President, what is Mr.
price controls?
Say it.
How do you respond to the fact that this?
It's not price control. No. What was price control is before. If you want to talk about price control, is what they were doing. They were making us pay. They set a price, and they said, "Here's what we're going to pay, and anything else charge America." Because at that time they had a very stupid president, and it really went crazy during the last 4 years. And remember this, the Democrats are the ones that allowed this to happen. They were the ones that were the protector of this pricing system. And I think it's going to be very hard. You'll have to ask Democrats, are they going to vote against the one great, big, beautiful deal that's being negotiated now, tax cuts, etc., when now on top of the tax cuts and regulation cuts, all the things, now you're going to say that the price of your medicine is going down by 60, 70, 80%. You're going to vote against it? I think a lot of Democrats are going to be forced to do something that their leaders are going to beg them not to do, and that's vote for the bill. I don't see how they can vote against it. How can they vote against it when drug prices, drugs and pharmaceuticals are going to be down 70, 80%? It's going to be very interesting.
Mr. President, what do you say to people who view that luxury jet as a personal gift to you? Why not leave it behind?
You're ABC fake news, right?
Why not?
Only ABC. Well, a few of you would. Let me tell you, you should be embarrassed asking that question. They're giving us a free jet. I could say, no, don't give us. I want to pay you $1 billion or 400 million or whatever it is. Or I could say, thank you very much. You know, there was an old golfer named Sam Snead. Did you ever hear of him? He won 82 tournaments. He was a great golfer. And he had a motto, when they give you a putt, you say, thank you very much. You pick up your ball and you walk to the next hole. A lot of people are stupid. They say, no, I insist on putting it. And then they putt it and they miss it. And their partner gets angry at them. You know what? Remember that, Sam Snead. When they give you a putt, you pick it up and you walk to the next hole and you say, thank you very much.
Respectfully, sir, as a businessman, some people may look at this and say, have you ever been given a gift worth millions of dollars and then not received anything?
It's not a gift to me, it's a gift to the Department of Defense. And you should know better. because you've been embarrassed enough, and so has your network. Your network is a disaster. ABC is a disaster. Here is the bill. Bobby, come on over here. Now you're talking about trillions and trillions of dollars. Thank you very much, everybody.
Mr. President, a quick question about Turkey.
You've been listening to President Donald Trump's.
There we go. We are ready for the event. So that was breaking news. More money in the pockets of Americans, it seems. So that market will take that bullish news. It was Trump's biggest ever tweet. We covered that news yesterday. We had the news conference. Good deals with Iran, going to Qatar. So it all is looking positive. China deal. He's very confident that will get signed. We covered that earlier this morning. Now it's time to move on to XRP. We are at $2.55. This is a big breakout for XRP. We're going to get into that targets, buy zones, sell zones. But remember, nothing is financial advice. I'm sharing with you what I'm doing with my live positions, what I'm going to be doing. We're going to be covering the market. It looks like the S&P 500 is slightly selling off right now. We've got NASDAQ, which is not as high as its day anymore, and the S&P 500 coming into resistance. So we're going to cover all of that very shortly. We've got the China-US deal to come through. Oh, thank you for becoming a member.
Hugo Papenfus has become a member.
Thank you for that. If anyone else wants to become a member, a lot of non-members in the chat today do consider becoming a member. We've got the China deal news coming up. We've got the XRP giveaway. We've got breaking news as well. We've got the Crypto Task Force Roundtable tokenization. Big day for XRP. But before we get any further, we've got Martyn who's calling in. So let's bring Martyn on the show. Welcome in, Martyn.
Sensei, great stream. Thank you very much indeed. Great audience. Hello, Lucas Aids. What's up? Great day. I've got so much good news to share with you today. Sensei, can you just tell me how long would you like to go live for? Because after you, I've got a news flash. I've got some more breaking news that will follow you. Take as long as you want. If you want to go live for an hour or two, that's absolutely fine. Or 5 minutes. Either way round, let me know what you'd like to do. And so what would you like to do,
Probably,
mate?
let's do half an hour. Let's do it at past. I'll send everyone over to your news flash.
Spot on. It's really good news. Everything's exciting today. That was great. All right, Sensei, I'll hand it back to you. An XRP special. Everyone needs to smash the like button. We should be at 1,000 likes. Let's get it going. It's a great day. Sensei, back to you. Cheers, mate.
Thank you very much. That is exciting news. So after this show, in about half an hour, we're going to go get extra news from Martyn. So everyone do stay tuned for that. We are going to be doing an XRP mug giveaway. How many likes do we have? Because that will happen very shortly. So let's hit the target. What do we have right now? Let me refresh the screen. I don't think we've got one like. Let me refresh that. We have got 376. We need 550 likes and we'll give away mugs. So let's get the music on. Let's get everyone smashing the like button. Share this out. We're going to do an XRP mug giveaway. You're going to get a mug like this, and it's not only going to be one winner, there's going to be a few. So what we're going to do is do a few. We're going to do a free mug. We're going to do a 75% off. We're going to do 50% off. We're going to do 25% off, so everyone's going to get a chance of winning. We're going to be giving away mugs left, right, and center only if we get 550 likes. So everyone smash that like button. It's an XRP mug. We'll be covering the costs, and then we're going to go on to the technicals. We're going to go on to the news we have. We do have a roundtable event, so it might be that Martyn goes live, then I get prepared for the Crypto Task Force Roundtable, and then I go live again, and then we've got a jam-packed day for you. So I'm going to look into the details of this. I think it starts in about an hour, but it doesn't get going until a bit later. I'm going to discuss what this roundtable event is. It's all about tokenization, the future of tokenization. That happens in a few hours' time. So we might... The event itself is about 4.5 hours, so we don't want to cover the whole event. However, the most important part of the event will be the second half, not the opening remarks, keynote. We'll see. I'm gonna do some more research into it. I'll bring you what this is really about in a second, and then we will probably be covering it live. So stay with us throughout the day. If you haven't done so already, please do subscribe. 550 likes. Everyone get liking, and we'll get giving away mugs. What are we on? Do we need to put the music on? It's a great day for XRP. Let's put the music
on. The year is 1991. Birds and people are living together in
XRP up 7.5% today.
A young man catches fire.
XRP up 7.5% today. We've got the rest of the market moving up. I've got targets for XRP. I know what's going to happen, I think. So I'll go be showing you that. But before we do, 550 likes. Let's get the music on. Let's everyone in the chat spam XRP. I want to see if the XRP army are here. XRP, 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 and then we'll give away mugs. If you haven't done already, like the stream. 550 likes and we will get to the giveaway. So let's get going. Let's turn the music up, like the stream, and spam XRP. $464, less than 100 likes and we start giving away mugs. Let's do it.
Get ready for verse 2, Electric Boogaloo.
You see the truth behind the veil, and you know that they're just looking for attention. Oh, you don't let the ruthlessness prevail. Oh, it's time now, light your fires for ascension. Like a phoenix, you burst in a fire, burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your
Have we done it? Has everyone liked the stream? 550 likes and we start giving away 482. What is everyone doing? Take a second out your day, hit the like button. If you don't want a mug, maybe someone else does. Help someone else out. 70 likes and we will get giving away. Everyone spamming XRP.
Phoenix, you burst in a fire, burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes. Phoenix,
Have we done it? But 40 more likes. Come on, guys, you can do it. 40 more likes. 40 more likes. Who hasn't liked it yet? We will be doing a giveaway in very, very shortly. Here we go. Okay, so we are waiting for another 40 likes. In the meantime, we've got a very exciting structure forming on XRP. Big move towards the upside, breakout. Let's just zoom. We'll go back for a second for anyone who's just tuned in and we'll tell you what's been going on. We won't go back too far, but our last few trades have been, you break down from $2, we're going to buy at $1.71, back above $2, bullish, broke out the long-term downtrend, bullish, between $2 and $2.30. We were waiting for the breakout of this downward sloping trend line. That broke out, and then we said $2.30 when that breaks out. $2.60. That's occurring right now. We've hit our targets on the trade, but I don't think it's over. Why am I saying I don't think it's over? It's because we've got a bullish, we've got a bull flag forming on XRP. So this bull flag is forming, and I do think this is one of those structures where downwards consolidation, ready for the next move up. Remember, this can go all the way down to $2.50, and I'm not going to be concerned at all with the price. But once this breaks out, we are looking at $2.62 and then beyond. So we'll be looking at the breakout. Next time we break $2.62, I think it's $2.70. Straight after $2.70, I think all-time highs could be very much on the cards. We've got a very exciting event today. It is the SEC Roundtable event. What's that all about? Well, I'll tell you all about it very, very shortly. I'll tell you why XRP is pumping today. I wouldn't be too concerned with this downtrend. This was as expected with the price hitting $2.62. Has everyone hit the like button? Are we ready for our giveaway? Hit that like button. Where is my mug? Throw a mug at someone who hasn't liked. 536. 14 more people have to like, and we will get right onto that live the mug giveaway. XRP is selling off right now, as expected. Why? Because we hit our target of $2.62. That's the 786 from the all-time high. We were expecting to see resistance up there. We are still up 7% today. Don't forget, this is not all XRP's fault. We've got Bitcoin coming down for a retest of 102,000. As I said, I think we'll get a retest of between 102,000 and 100,000. So that's normal. Once we start going back up, XRP will also benefit. So Bitcoin's down on the day, XRP is very much up on the day. So that's very good news. We've got the S&P 500, which has had a slight sell-off, but it's still very much up. So that is good. NASDAQ is hitting its targets as well. So nothing too concerning in the markets. I wouldn't be buying in now. FOMO is the worst thing to do. Again, I'm not giving you financial advice, but when I buy, I like to buy at low levels when everyone's selling. 3 more likes and we do the giveaway. So there we go. The S&P 500 has also come into resistance. Its final level before we can see all-time highs is 786. Once that's taken out, I do see all-time highs on the card. So everything's looking good for at least the next couple months. We did analyze the China deal and why there is some not bad news, but why we should be cautious and why I'm not buying right now, and I've already done my buying. XRP is selling off while the broader markets are selling off, but it is forming a bullish flag in my opinion. Upwards trend, downwards consolidation. Once this breaks another $2.62 level test, breaking above that, $2.60 and $2.73 would be key. And looking beyond that, there isn't much in our way. We've got $3, the 1618. We've got $3.30. Then we've got all-time highs: $4.70, $5.30, $6.37, $7.41, $8.51, and beyond. We've got Martyn calling into the show, so let me bring him back. We've got him calling in, so let me bring him back on the screen. Martyn, you are live on the show.
I've just heard a rumor from my favorite dwarf that we're giving mugs away again. Is there any truth in this rumor, Sensei? We're giving mugs away again today, are we?
Yes, we are. We're giving away mugs again. Yeah.
Okay, the rumor is true then. Okay, so me and you need to have words today at the end of the show, right, about all these free mugs we keep giving away. Are you going to be covering the SEC roundtable later? Do you want to do that?
Yes, I think that would be good to cover that. I'm going to look into exactly the timings and how to cover it, but it will start in about an hour's time. But that's the opening remarks. It goes on for about 4.5 hours, so I will have a look into that.
All right. So what I'll do is, after your event now, you wanted me to go live at 20 past rather than half past, right? Okay, in about what's that now? 5-10 minutes. Okay, I'm going to go live with a big news story. If you've then able to set up the event, Sensei, we can always move the time. I will then end that live stream and take it to the SEC roundtable, and you can always adjust the time. At least it goes there, so our XRP investors can be taken from this event to my breaking news, from the breaking news to the SEC. Can you just make an adjustment as well? Look on the levels. When I call in, the interview seems to be low compared to your voice. Can you just adjust it? It should be.
They are on.
They are about the same. Do I sound about the same?
They are the same, but I can turn yours up even more.
Okay, cool. Because it always sounds a little bit low compared to yours. Oh, right. Okay. I mean, I'm not trying to say you're trying to shut me up or anything, but, remember, it is my show. So I'm just saying. Anyway, Sensei, love you to bits, mate. You're having a great show. Get that set up the moment you finish, and then I'll talk for about 15 minutes. It's only a quick one. Hopefully you'll have something there. You can always adjust the time afterwards. All right, mate? All right, I'll hand it back to you.
Thank you very much.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
That was Martyn. So he's going to set up his big news story. That's going to happen in 10 minutes time. We're going to have one more look at the XRP charts, the news, before we do that. But I think we've hit 550 likes. So what we're going to do is, Martyn sounds much louder, says Pascal. I'll look back and see what's going on with the sound. Okay, so we've hit the like target, so congratulations. This is going to be a quick. This is gonna sell out very quickly, because what we're going to do is we're going to do a mug giveaway, and it's going to be an XRP mug, and it's going to be a big XRP mug. It's not going to be the smaller one. It's going to be the big one. So we're going to give away one mug for one special person. We're going to give away one. We're going to give away one mug at a 75% discount. We're going to give away, I'm just checking the numbers here. We're going to give two, how many? Martyn's not going to like me. We're going to do 2 mugs at a 50% discount. We're going to do an additional 5 mugs at 25% discount. So you have to strategize. Are you going to be quick and get the one for free? Are you going to be quick and get the one for 75? Or are you going to play it safe and get it for the one for 25% off? Either way, this is the collection we're talking about. It is the XRP mug, 15 ounce, so it's a big mug. It's the XRP mug there. And it's there's only 9 available, so it's a limited edition mug. These will sell out at full price anyway, but we're going to make them sell out today with all the different discounts. So 25% off this mug is an incredible discount. I know every single one is going to go. So there's 9 units available. 1 is going to be free, 1 is going to be 75% off, 2 is going to be 50% off, and then we've got the rest, the 5 remaining at 25% off. So even at 25% off, I don't think we break even. So I don't think Martyn's going to be too happy. But it's a good day for XRP, even though it's selling off slightly now. It's up 8%. The rest of the market's down, and you need to be part of the merch club. Once you get these mugs, by the way, it's not only a mug. You get added to the premium Discord on the exclusive merch club. So it's a premium channel on the premium Discord, and that's what you get as an additional thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the code. So what you have to do is add it to your cart. Let's hopefully, I'm just going to go over to this page. I don't want to give away any details. You go to, it's going to be this specific mug. So I'm going to give you the link to that. So let me firstly give you the link to this specific mug. It's only going to work on only this item. So everyone needs to go on the site right now. We ship worldwide, and it gets made in your country. So it comes very fast, and it's good for the environment. Anyway, that's the mug. So click on that link. Then you go onto the website. You have to add it to your cart. You have to go to the checkout page, and then you have to get ready for me to say it. So you go on the checkout page. Yeah. So you go on the checkout page. Here it is. What you then have to do is put the discount code there. So you can already fill out your name and payment details and everything like that. As soon as I give you the discount code, you choose which one we're going to get. If you miss out on the free one or the 75% one, then quickly try the 25% one, or just start off with the 25% one, because there's so many people watching. I'm sure the whole collection, the whole mug, there's only 9 available in total, and all of them are going to be discounted. 1 for free, 1 for 75% off. Anyway, and 2 for 50% off, and the rest for 25% off. So get ready. I'm gonna give you the code right now. So I'm going to give you the link again. That specific mug, the 15-ounce mug, this is the only one it's for. So are you ready? Type in ready. Well, as soon as we get 5 people ready, we're going to do it. We're going to give you the codes, and then you choose which one we're going to go for. 5 people say they're ready, and we're going to get straight into that giveaway. You guys are hitting a stride. Very entertaining, says Motto 18. Oh, I've just lost a screen. Turn that back on. Oh, I've lost. I apologize. One of my screens turned off. That should all be fine now. There we go. XRP is holding up better than the rest of the markets. Bitcoin's down 1.7%. XRP's up 8%. We can see that decoupling happening. And what I mean by decoupling is that short-term decoupling, where when Bitcoin goes down and the money's flowing into the altcoins. Even though the broader markets are selling off, XRP is holding up tremendously well right now. Ready, ready, ready. Okay, we've got 5 readies. Love being late so I can listen to Phoenix at 2x speed, my daily hype up tune. We love it. So Everyone get ready. There's 9 mugs. They're going to sell out very fast. If it was me, I'd probably try the 50 or the 25% first, because I know someone's going to be very quick with the free and 75% off, and you still want to get this mug at a discount. So what are the codes? The codes are, let me have my screen set up as well, so I can see what's going on and I can monitor this to make sure everything's running smoothly. So it's for that exact mug. Oh, the 11-ounce mug is sold out. Let me show you this. We've already got the 11-ounce mug sold out. There's only 9 of these available. Oh, they're already selling out. They're already selling out. I don't know how people are buying them already. There's less available, but no one's used the codes yet. That's interesting. People are, they're already selling out. So I've done something here. And what have I done? I think people already know the code. So off 100 is for the free one. Off 25 is 25% off. Off 75 is a 75% off one. Off 50 is the 50% off one. So off 100, off 25, off 75, and off 50. There we go. People are buying them full price because they don't want to not get their hands off it. They want to get their hands on it. So there we go. People are buying them full price as well. So be quick. Off 100 for the free one. Off and people are buying them full price. I can't believe it. Here we go. Off 100. Off 75, off 50, off 25. People are buying them full price because they know they're going to sell out today and they want to have their hands on this last collection. So there are your codes. You can go for it. Off 100, off 75. It's very, let's refresh this. Let's see who's winning. How many mugs are left? I'm going to give this a refresh. Someone's managed to get the free one already. I think someone's got, let's see who else is, someone's got the 50% off one. I think 75% is still available. Is that still available? I'm not sure. It's going quick. So if you want 25% off 25 is the code. Off 25. People are buying these full price because I bought it full price by mistake, lol, says Sub. It's fine, Sub. They're going to be limited collections. Only 5 left. So off 25 is the code, I think, which is only 1 left. Joe P and if you look, 25 is actually not a bad price. I mean, they're customized mugs. It costs us a lot to send it out. They are limited for the fans. There's 10 available, and you get access to a premium Discord, and you get lots of benefits. So it's actually not. So off 25, off 50. I think we're sold out. I don't know why I'm doing it anymore. Off 75, off 25. Are we sold out? We've got 5 units available. Let's refresh. I think that's gone down again. It takes a second to refresh. Someone's got the 75% off one is gone. So you can use off 50 or off 25, and this collection will be ending, and you get access to Discord and everything like that. So thank you for doing that. I thought we would give back to you guys, and then we'll send you over to Martyn's stream. Sorry, I've put the wrong code there. It's off 25. Why can't we play in crypto? That's coming soon. There's just the shop's located in the UK, and the UK are very annoying with their regulations. So that will be coming soon, Hugo. So let's just check this. Only 4 left, I think. Which codes are available right now? You've got off 25 available, so you can get 25% off. We never have 25% off a singular mug ever, because that is at break even. So there you go. You can use code off 25 for this specific mug. I'm going to give you the link again. Robbie C, I don't have a credit card. You can use a debit card as well. PayPal is also an issue to use. Pay in Bitcoin, no, we can't. Okay, there you go. Off 25 is still there. You can also get it as a bundle if you want the jumper and t-shirts. Anyway, what I'm going to do is final analysis while those codes go. I think those are the last ones. Just checking a few things. Make sure we're running smoothly. Why is this on? Okay. Cool. XRP, while we're doing that, is breaking out of its bull flag. So we could have a major pump on our hands today on XRP. Once it gets back above $2.62, we are looking at $2.70 and $2.73. Once that breaks $3, $3.50, an all-time high. So it is all starting on XRP. I'm going to be presenting the news on the SEC roundtable, the crypto clarity news, the future of tokenization. They're literally calling it a spring sprint towards crypto clarity. We've got the new SEC commissioner. We've got BlackRock. We've got tokenization. We've got people affiliated with Ripple on the event. Why is XRP pumping today? We've got obviously the resolution and the legal uncertainty. Macro conditions are looking better. Technical moves. We saw the technicals breaking out and whale activity, strong buying, and liquidations. We've got liquidations in the for XRP at the moment. We've got basically shorts being liquidated. You can see the highest one right now is XRP on the. Yeah, we've got liquidations all over the place. It's the shorts being liquidated on XRP. More shorts are being liquidated on XRP, and for the rest of the cryptocurrencies, it's the longs being liquidated. So you can see XRP is decoupling in all respects. The shorts are getting liquidated on XRP. The longs are getting liquidated for the rest of the crypto market, which is very, very interesting. We've got this news event. Sorry, let me bring it to you with the roundtable. The SEC's crypto task force is holding a roundtable. This roundtable is as part of a broader spring sprint towards crypto clarity. Top regulators, including SEC commissioners, are attending and speaking, highlighting the importance of this event for shaping future crypto policy. Major institutions are represented. Speakers include BlackRock, Fidelity, Nasdaq, Invo, Apollo, Franklin Templeton, and other institutions exploring tokenized securities and blockchain integration. The participation reflecting growing mainstream acceptance of blockchain-based financial infrastructure. Tokenization equals real-world crypto utility. The focus is tokenization of traditional finances, TradFi, which brings regulated finance with crypto. Why this is bullish for XRP? Ripple, XRP's parent company, has long positioned XRP as a bridge asset for tokenized fiat and real-world assets across borders. Today's roundtable is about exactly that. Ex-executives with Ripple ties are involved. Robert Mitchnick, the head of digital assets for BlackRock and former Ripple executive, is on the panel. This connects XRP's vision with Wall Street's powerhouses. Other Ripple-friendly figures like Johnny Reinschel, Tokenized Asset Coalition, and Georgina, also advocate for tokenized finance, align with Ripple goals. SEC's legitimization helps XRP's legal standing, so we are going to be watching this live, so do stay with us. Make sure you've already subscribed because that's coming on later in the day. I think there is only, how many mugs are left? It's the 15-ounce one, so it's bigger than your normal mug. Only 3 left, and you get it for 25% off. So off 25, I think, is the code. Am I right? There you go. There is. I'm going to leave you with that. We're going to send you over to Martyn, who's got more breaking news. That is the link, off 25, and here is the link to the specific mug you can get. And also, I mean, there is plenty of other XRP merch. If you don't just want a mug, you want the jumper, you want the t-shirt. The 11-ounce one is now sold out as well. You've got the XRP jumper in a variety of colors. I've got it in the sand. You can get it with a mug, and you can get it with a t-shirt, and you can get a discount that way. But the only way to get a mug discount by itself is what we've done today. So that event is today, Jack Ryan. That crypto SEC event is today. What we're going to do is thank everyone for tuning in. I'm going to get prepared for the SEC event. Matrix, the code will work. You have to check yourself if it's applied before you check out. There's nothing I can do about that, Matrix. What you've got is a limited edition mug. You've got a physical product. Unfortunately, if you didn't apply the code, there is nothing I can do. Yeah, anyway, thank you all for doing that. I will leave you with the link for the mug. I'm going to give you the code again, off 25, make it as clear as I can. And you can apply that before you check out. Thank you for everyone tuning in. Stay exactly where you are. Don't go anywhere, because this stream is going to take you over to the breaking news. And the breaking news is going to be from Martyn. Got my mug at 50% off, says Crispy. Congratulations, Crispy. Welcome to the merch club. We will add you to the exclusive merch club. Once you get those mugs, send them into Discord and we'll add you in. Oh, Martyn's calling in. Before we leave, we've got Martyn calling in. So let me go back to the screen. Martyn, you are live on the show.
Great. Another great show. Yeah. XRP investors, stay right where you are, because like we brought you earlier this morning to that breaking story about EV tolls, we got another one, even more than what we said about Archer Aviation, coming next. I got Vaz calling in live to the show. He's been talking directly with the companies. We got some great information. So Sensei is going to end now, send you to me, and then while I'm doing my short announcement and news with Vaz, Sensei is going to be preparing for the SEC roundtable, and my show, this one, will take you back to Sensei's event. So you're literally going to go backwards and forwards. You can't keep up with us, guys. We're here to serve. We're here to help you. We're here to protect you. Make sure that you don't get FOMO'd in, but you always know what's coming next, not rushing to where we are today. So Sensei, great show. Send them to me. I will then send them back to you. If you go and set that event up, you can always jig around the times, but I will get everyone back to you as soon as we finish this announcement. Sensei, back to you. Cheers.
Thank you, Martyn. So, as you heard, we're going to take you all over to Martyn with some breaking news stories and some EV tolls with Vaz. So do stay with us there, and then you'll be coming straight back to me, I imagine, in about 45 minutes or so. I'm going to do some research. I'll get that all ready for you. We're going to get the live stream up from the SEC, so stay with us. 2 units only available for this 15-ounce mug. Let me refresh. There's only 2 left. Once they're gone, they're gone. You can never see these mugs again. Code is 25 off. There is the link for it. Thank you, everyone. I was happy I could do that giveaway for you guys. I'll hear about. I'll have to explain myself to Martyn later again. I love having those conversations. I get too excited. XRP's price pumps. I like to do giveaways. Anyway, I'll take that on. What I'm going to do is stay exactly where you are. We're going to give you more XRP news, more eVTOL news, more market news, and then you can come back. So stay where you are. This will take you straight to Martyn's stream. Short-term prediction, 1 hour. I think as long as we break out of this target, it's $2.62 or it's $2.50, depending on where the market's taking us. $2.50 or $2.62. If we break $2.62, we'll be moving up to $2.70. I'll be back in an hour anyway, so we can continue analyzing that. I wouldn't be trading this. I wouldn't be FOMOing. I'd already be in, but we're going to provide you with all the news so we can make better underlying decisions. Until next time, stay where you are. The link's pinned. You can go straight to the event, but I'll see you shortly. But stay where you are. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye-bye.